Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another new video. Today we have the second episode of Noob to Pro Comeback, the series where I will be doing my very own Noob to Pro tutorial series and give you guys some tips along the way, kind of review my own stuff and also play some more matchmaking for the entertainment value, of course. Now, you will get a Noob to Pro Comeback episode every Monday, so make sure to tune back in every Monday. Don't be like Austin, who's posting on the videos that are not on Monday, that it's not a Noob to Pro episode, because it's on Monday. Right, don't be that guy. Now, so much for point 1. For point 2, we'll be talking about the training routine coming up for this week and what I would recommend if you guys want to join me and you're also getting back into CS. Not if you're starting from scratch. If you're starting from scratch, go watch the normal Noob to Pro series, not Noob to Pro Comeback. That's only if you already have experience with the game. Now, after that, we will be giving, or better said, looking at some feedback that you guys gave me. It's kind of a little bit of a Q&A thing, just some questions you had about the series, and I'll be going into them as well. After that, we'll be watching the video. For today, that would be Noob to Pro episode on economy, which is not gonna be relevant, I think, and for the Nades as well. Now, last but not least, as you saw in the beginning already, we'll have a couple of snippets from matchmaking where I talk a little bit about that and what I was doing in there and how I feel at this very point after coming back while playing matchmaking. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, let's get into the training routine now. So for this week, as I always do for my warm-up, I used the fast aim reflex map, just doing stutter stepping and headshot bursts with the AK, and before that I of course did the deagle headshots, like 30 or so, until I felt comfortable and warmed up, and that's what I always do, and this is always working out quite well. Now, I want to be completely honest with you guys, I haven't really been doing the practice or slash training routine this week a lot. I kind of did it like 2 times only, and I mean it's okay if you miss it like once or twice, but if you only do it once or twice, that's definitely not enough. So I'll be doing that more efficiently coming next week for the next training routine. So this time around, however, I did go into free-for-all deathmatch, not normal Valve DM, and I also have some couple other changes that I did use in order to kind of challenge myself a little more. So what I did right here is I was playing without sound. Sound is a very crucial and integral part because it helps you to locate where the enemies are. It kind of helps you to kind of know with your spray as well. If you just hear like the shots of the gun, you kind of, based on that, also subconsciously know where you're at with your spray and stuff like that, or with your burst. So it's very important. However, if you do not have any of that, it's a lot harder and challenging. So if you want to do the same practice routine with me, you can also try to just turn off your sound or just listen to some music and not have like any kind of like CSGO sounds playing in the background and all, and just see how well you're doing with that. And then just kind of make some comparisons, and once you get back to actually playing with sound, it's gonna feel so much more easier. So by actually challenging yourself, this should really help you to get back into it more by handicapping yourself in the first place. So this is what I've done for this week. As for the training routine for movement, you can just do some more surf, I think. Alrighty, now for the feedback time. You guys asked me a couple of questions in the YouTube comment section, however also on my Discord. For example, like Tipper, right here. His question: I don't have 1.5 hours to do your training routines. How do I spend a short amount of time per session to do a comeback to CS or in CS? Essentially, just cut down as much as you can provide for your training routines. So if I say you need to like do 30 minutes of deathmatch, 30 minutes of surfing, and then 30 minutes of like nade practice, you could just cut it down like to 20 minutes each or like 10 minutes each. Just kind of look where you're kind of lacking in and try to focus more on that, try to train more on that. You could also alternate the days, so on one day you just skip one of those, or just have a heavier focus and just do like 30 minutes for one and just 10 for the other two or something like that. So you just do something every day. Like that's the main goal, to just kind of keep you in the zone. Even if it's not like hardcore training all the time, still just being in there and doing something in order to just keep it fresh in your memory really helps with that. Feedback from you guys. The one thing I didn't like is you played Valve DM. Yes, this time I did play free-for-all deathmatch with a twist, so I'm reading your comments, guys. Keep doing it. Now, a question that also often pops up: why do you need surfing? I don't know, movement mechanics are a bit weird in CS compared to other games, but you won't be surfing in a match, right? Well, theoretically you could on overpass, but no, you're not gonna be surfing. The help with surfing is that you have like large air strafes, So it's a lot easier to do them if you're up in the air and you have like lots of time mid-air to just actually learn how to strafe and sync up your mouse movement with your keyboard movement so that you can do your jumps. That's the main focus. Kind of soothe you into the air strafing so you get better with your strafe jumping. That's the main goal behind surfing. If you're more advanced, you can just move over to KC, but again, that's only if you're more advanced. And Rig Rules, last but not least, thank you very much. Yes, there are now updated versions for the pre-fair maps that I used when I showed them in my last video. Those were the outdated versions, so make sure if you're downloading them from the workshop to actually get the new ones. Okay, so the two guides that I did watch of mine this time around were the one for economy, which to be honest is still kind of okay to watch for some stuff, but majorly outdated due to the recent changes to the economy system and like the first snowball effect where you get like the free money sooner. And yeah, just piss arounds overall, how you kind of behave with your economy, where you buy, when you don't buy and stuff like that. It's really different, so that is not helping at all now. So everyone, I think, still has to figure out again how to do that. Now, I also did watch my Nade tutorial, and pretty much I still knew all of that. So my main lacking here in matchmaking that I also did notice, I barely could remember any smokes, like 1 or 2 on each map maybe. And for this time around I just focused on 3 maps. Mirage, which you can see right here, Cache after that, and then again after that Inferno. Those are the 3 maps that I'll be practicing in when I will be going back into matchmaking, since I feel like on these 3 maps I have the most experience and I just don't want to play Dust 2, even though I probably have more experience on that map anyways. However, I really did notice that it was kind of hard to just keep up, and now I actually get what you guys were saying, like back in the days when I just made the smoke videos and they're like, so many smokes to remember, I can remember all of them, and I was like, ah man, it's just easy, just use them once or twice and you got them. But I was watching back my videos and I can't remember them, so I definitely know what you guys have been going through. Now, I have a tip for that actually did help me, that I found out was actually very useful, and that is that you actually want to not just look at the video, but just go into an offline match and just repeat them for yourself. Just do them yourself. Once you actually do them yourself, you will remember them a lot faster. It's gonna come to you a lot easier than if you just watch the video. Like watching the video helps you to figure out where they are, but in-game you want to practice them in order to remember them. That's the crucial part right here, and I feel like after rewatching them and just doing it myself, that's the biggest thing that I took away from actually just practicing with nades and smokes this week, or just like for the next week. It's also kind of like both weeks kind of thing, but yeah, so much for that. Now let's move on to the actual part you all guys have all been waiting for, and that's some of the matchmaking clips that I had on my... well, I'll tell you in a second. Well, you guys know I'm not a fan of smurfing. However, currently I'm in a weird position. I kind of still know and kind of do have the skills to play the game, but at the same time I don't. So I neither fit in with the rank that I was previously in. However, I also do not fit in currently with like many of the lower ranks. However, I feel like just like starting from the lower to the higher seems to be more fair in my opinion. So I also have a private account that I only use for single player games. However, on that account I also have CSGO. So that's the account that I've been using first and foremost to actually feel out how matchmaking feels like before jumping back into actually going into competitive. Now, on that account I did play once before, and it was like a Nova 3 or something, or Nova 4 I believe. And that's actually the rank that I did get when I played again. And now I already ranked up to MG2 on that account, even though I didn't like win many games. So I think that's gonna be interesting to see how it's actually going to play out once I'm going to be playing on my main account again. Alright, so for the last part of the video I just want to comment over a couple of rounds that I had during the first matchmaking, or one of the first matchmaking games that I played on that account. Now this time as CT I was holding in mid and was actually pushing up, trying to get them from behind because I knew they were in A main. Now something can always happen if you do that. You get killed by your AWPer. So everything I just wanted to show there was that the enemy team actually did a pretty good job. Now another thing that I did right here was actually trying to go for that AWP. Only 16 HP, no armor, no nothing. That was super risky, and the guy definitely should have had me when he was shooting me while I was in the smoke. He definitely saw me and it was an easy kill. I should not have survived that. So that is definitely something that is teaching me kind of bad habits if you're playing at a low rank, I believe. However, besides that, it still did work out eventually. Now if we move on, something that I also did notice right here is how extremely annoying it can be when you get tagged. I definitely would have had the guy, but he interrupted my stutter stepping because he tagged me with his shot, so just check this out.
Your teammates.
Right there. And just because of that, I actually was off center and didn't hit him properly. So it really makes it important to actually hit the first shot before the enemy does, even if it's not the killing shot. So you've seen this clip before, but I just really liked how we all committed as a team, and even the bot did join us, so it was pretty awesome. And this is one of the times that I feel like my aim, or just generally how I play, was still pretty much on point, and just getting good headshots all around with the deagle. I showed this in the last video as well. So sometimes this is like kind of where I'm at right now with the matchmaking. I feel like I'm still there, like having my crosshair placement on point right there, just waiting for him to re-peek, firing, even though I do not necessarily have to peek him and have the advantage, just switching up positions, going for shots, going back, re-peeking, stuff like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm point, and other times I just feel like super rusty. So this is kind of a weird spot where I'm in currently. Now, last but not least, something that you do not see very often in CSGO matchmaking highlights kind of things, but this is something that is extremely important, even though it doesn't get shown very often on YouTube or just like anywhere. Now, we again decided to go for A since we were strong on A, and we usually had pretty good picks there as well. So we did our usual run up, just prepared ourselves. Again, I kind of felt like it was in the zone this match, so I did use more deagle only than I probably should have done. But I just felt like, since I'm kind of in this weird spot, as I said before, I just felt like this was probably the proper choice for everyone, my team and the enemy team as well. And we're just doing our execution right here. I probably should have waited for the smoke to pop before crossing, but it just felt like since my teammate already did cross and there was no shots being shot at them, that it was kind of safe to go there. Now, essentially, we got control over the site. They probably stacked more towards the mid-B area or something like that. So essentially what I'm doing right here is just periodically checking highway and a main. I do not have to peek that often. It's enough if just peek every now and then, but I just want to make sure that no one can actually go in, sneak up on me, or just like sneak past any of my friendlies, or just up behind them, so I got them covered as well. Right here, this was kind of weird. Someone from highway could have shot me. I have no clue why I did that. That didn't make any sense, so do not do that. And yeah, the thing about this round, I didn't do anything at all besides just holding my position, waiting for the enemy, holding the angle, not doing anything super awesome besides throwing that one smoke. However, that one thing sometimes is enough to win the round. And this is all I want to show you guys with this last round. So once again, this has been the second episode of Noob to Pro Comeback. Let me know what you think about it. Give me some feedback on the video format. So would you like to see more matchmaking, more tips, more of my training routine, whatever and whatnot? Let me know in the comment section down below. But I think that's pretty much all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and LuckySkillFaker out.